to LS1's Lego Garage, and in today's video we have a couple of announcements, one of which you've already seen, which we have a new intro. I hope you all like it. If you do, please let me know in the comments down below, as well as if you don't, because we are viewer run. If the viewer doesn't like what we're putting out, we want to make it better so they will like it, or you all will like it. So please give me thoughts and feedback in the comments down below on the intro. Thanks to Lel's Workshop for making that for me. And before we get into the announcements for today's video, I would like to mention that most of you do not watch all of my videos, or do not stick through my whole video. Most of you either skip around through it, or you don't watch the whole video. By now, most of you have already left, which is only 1 minute into the video. Most people have already left my video. So, if you all like my channel, please consider watching the whole video from beginning to end. It would mean a lot, because right now I do not have very good viewer retention rate. And that is not very motivating to me, because I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I would really, really appreciate it if you all would stick through my whole video. Next thing is, most of you aren't subscribed. Even those that do watch my videos are not subscribed. So, as you can see right here, we don't have very many subscribers that actually watch our channel, or most of our viewers are not subscribed. So please, please, please consider hitting the subscribe button, as well as that notification bell. And if you do like today's video, please consider to give it a like, and even share it with your friends if this is helpful. But enough chitter-chattering. I would like to get the announcements and then start the video. So let's get into it. So our first announcement is I'm starting 2 new series. One of which being how you can improve your own LEGO vacuum engine, as well as how you make one and how it works. So you can take the knowledge from how it works. Like today's video is going to be all about how a LEGO vacuum engine works. And we can take the knowledge of how it works and determine how you can make it even better and improve it. Next announcement is we're working on a new lawnmower. Or new to me lawnmower, I should say. Because this lawnmower was as much of a barn find as you can really call it, I guess. I mean, it wasn't in a barn, but it was right behind one, and it was literally out in the weather. It used to have a tarp on it, and from my knowledge, it's been sitting for about 18 years, which is a really long time. It didn't have any kind of cover on it. I'll put some pictures right here from when I found it. Pretty rough shape, if you ask me. And, yeah. I am hoping to not necessarily restore this to original condition, but I have a few things up my sleeve. Like, for example, I plan to turn this into like a lawn tractor, like an actual tractor that's got torque, that can haul things. It's a 16 horsepower Briggs & Stratton V-twin. And you don't come across many of those high horsepower ones in small units like what I have. Most of those units are pretty big, and usually they have hydros in them, hydrostatic transmissions. But in my opinion, hydrostatic transmissions aren't as fun to drive, and you can't do as much with them. So I plan to do a bunch of modding to it. I plan to put a new flywheel on it. I plan to upgrade a lot on it. Like, for example, I want to take the governor off, which is why I need to upgrade the flywheel, because I've heard they can be kind of dangerous if you take the governor off without changing the flywheel, because they can explode. The flywheels can bust into a lot of pieces because of the high RPM. But, yeah. Also, sorry about my video quality. I don't know what's going on with my phone. It's been having issues lately. So, I'm planning on getting a new one for recording. So, I hope I'm able to do that. Also, sorry for my audio quality. Same issue. Phone's not great. So, let's hope I can get a new one for recording. And also, sorry for lighting. I'm still trying to set up my studio, kind of. It's very, 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 very makeshift. If you would like, I can make a video on it. Just hit me up in the comments down below, and I'll see what I can do. Now, without blabbering on and wasting y'all's time, I think we need to get into this video. So, for those who are new to LEGO vacuum engines, what I have right in front of me is an inline 2-cylinder LEGO vacuum engine. It is an inline 2-cylinder because there's one cylinder right here. This from this white piece over here is one cylinder. This from this gray piece right here all the way over here is one cylinder. And as you can see, I was fortunate and I have these clear cylinder walls right here. They're dark, but you can see through them. And you may see these things going up and down inside of the cylinders. What they are called, they're called pistons. And what they do is they transfer power through this rod right here, that is called a connecting rod because it connects to the piston, and it makes sure the piston can connect to this right here, and this is called a crankshaft, which goes through your whole engine. And how it works is you have a vacuum that pressurizes this cylinder, puts it under negative pressure, which what happens is by the way, you time this timing using the camshaft over here where the valves are. We'll get into that later. But basically, when vacuum is applied to the cylinder, it pulls on this piston, as if you were to suck on this cylinder and pull it, like I said, put it under negative pressure. Yes, using the word sucking on a cylinder is a weird explanation, but like I said, you just have to take me seriously here. But basically what happens is when you have force applied to the cylinder, positive or negative pressure, either one works. When it's down like this, just a little bit past bottom dead center, which is where the crankshaft is at the farthest to the bottom and the piston is farthest to the bottom of the cylinder as it can be, just past there, if you were to apply vacuum to this, it would get pulled up. And how this creates power is, like I said, it uses the suction right here, and when you apply suction to it, this piston being connected. Oh yeah, sorry for I have allergies right now. Sorry about that as well. But when you have this piston over here, what it does is it gets pulled up like a plunger, and when it does that, it transfers that power of getting pulled up through the connecting rod and into this crankshaft, and hence the name crankshaft, because it works as a crank. It gives a much more leverage on this axle part of the crankshaft, this shaft right here. It gives more leverage to it. As you can see, it's got what's called a 4-stud stroke, which means that this piston goes up and down 4 studs per cycle, which is a 2-cycle engine, because you use an intake and exhaust stroke. The power stroke is in the intake stroke, and the downward stroke, the exhaust stroke, is hence in the name exhaust stroke. And there is no compression stroke for this engine since it uses vacuum and not an air-fuel mixture. Most engines are 4-stroke or 2-stroke. 4 strokes you have intake, compression, power, and exhaust. 2 strokes, they do all of those cycles, because each one of those is a cycle, so that's why you have 4-cycle engines and 2-cycle engines. And so a 2-stroke, it has intake and then compression and power. So as it's compressing it has power and exhaust. They're kind of funky, they're kind of hard to explain, but that's why they're valveless, is because on your intake stroke you also have an exhaust stroke. Like I said, they're very, very confusing, at least for me, so I'm not good at explaining those. So if I get anything wrong here, please correct me in the comments. I would hate to mislead anybody. So basically, this is a 2-cycle engine because it accomplishes both power and exhaust strokes in 2 strokes, and so therefore there's no need for any more strokes. So basically, when pressure is applied to the cylinder, it acts as a lever, which is what creates the power. Typically, you get more power when you have pressure pushing down on something, because pressure can go up way higher than vacuum can. Vacuum can only go down to about negative 14 psi, whereas the sky's the limit for air pressure, like standard air pressure, positive pressure. So basically, how you control this vacuum, because we've already established that when there's vacuum to apply to the cylinder, it's going to make power. And so how you time that is you have this shaft over here called a camshaft. Let me go to this side since there's a timing gears. You have this gear that when the crankshaft is in a certain position, the camshaft, which is this shaft over here, it's not technically a camshaft. Technically, a camshaft is they're individual cams, and so there's no connecting rod right here because it's technically a connecting rod. So it goes through a series of gears, which is what times the vacuum for these valves. These are called valves right here. And so basically it times that. So what happens is when it gets to the bottom, it gets a little bit past there, and then the valve opens. And so it goes and it pulls up on that piston, which then closes the valve, which opens in the intake part right here, or the exhaust, excuse me. The exhaust, which allows fresh air to go into the cylinder. When it does that, it allows the piston to travel back down without creating more vacuum. Then, just after it gets a little bit past bottom dead center, the valve opens back up. And you may ask, how does it continue going through this cycle when there's no momentum here? That's a great question, you may ask. Well, if we take a look on this side, it seems like there should be something connected here, right? You have this. This is what allows it to continue on. This is what goes on that shaft. And as you can see, it's a really, really large wheel. Well, there's another name for this wheel in the engine world. This is called a flywheel. Don't know where the fly part comes in. I guess it's because it's supposed to fly and just continue going on when there's no power strokes being delivered. But basically, it slips on this, the end of this crankshaft right here. And see how it kind of keeps it going a little bit longer? Now, this is kind of a stiff engine because I just got done making sure everything is put together so I wouldn't have any failures during this video. But, as you can see, it kind of helps it spin better to make it sit smoother. And that's exactly what its purpose is what it does is it keeps momentum going, because this thing's going to be going faster than I can spin it like this. It's going to be going way faster, like 2,000 RPMs. And so what it does is it keeps momentum going, so that way you're always having something that's continuing on the strokes. So when it's exhausting, this helps it continue that, and then right as the flywheel's losing its momentum, a power stroke happens, which speeds it up even more, and it just keeps on doing that until it gets really, really, really fast. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think you get the picture. I think I'm going to have to end the video here because we've been on for a very, very long time. But basically, I'll go on to how the manifold, what the manifold is, and what the intake right here is, what the quote-unquote carburetor or throttle body is. Before we end this video, I think you all might want to see this new engine run, because this is a very, very powerful engine. 6x6 pistons, which means that the pistons are 6x6. There's 6 blocks or 6 studs or whatever, however you want to say it. But in our next video, not sure when that's going to come out. I've been relatively busy lately, even though it is summer. I've had other jobs and stuff I've been up to, but I am trying to get out videos as frequent as I can. I don't think I can stick to weekly uploads anymore, unfortunately, but I am really going to try. And if I'm not able to get a video out, I try to release shorts, which get very annoying and very repetitive very fast. So please, please, please forgive me about that if you're even still watching this video, because like I said, most of you all leave the video pretty early. So thank you sincerely to those who are still watching this video. Thanks for putting up with me talking for so long. And yeah, anyways, I think we should run this engine. Like I said, very, very powerful engine. But I think I'm going to end on that note. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Now let's run this beast. enjoyed this video, catch you in the next one. LS out.